Hi everyone, my name is Nicola and Simply a Stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's great to have you, and if you are returning, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. I'll have some more drinks when you're ready, love, as well, sorry. So today I'm going to do Stitch with me, and as you can no doubt tell, I have my stitching shelf out. It's been a while. So yeah, we're going to have an hour and a half of stitchy time with this beauty and see how many stitches we can get put in. I'm working this in my version of typewriter method. So where people typically would do typewriter method by just the leftmost stitch on that particular line, I actually work my typewriter method in blocks, so in a 10 deep block. So yeah, I'm going to crack on and do some of this. It's like I said, it's been a little while since Stitching Shelf was out, and I'm going to answer some comments as well. I've had a number come in, so I want to try and get through those. I've got Andy here with me today, and Hannah is around as well, so I expect some tootling. You know what she's like. But yeah, let's see how much we can do. So I hope everybody is doing well. We're okay. Wednesday as I film this, so I have today and 2 more work days to go, and then I'm off for a week. I'm just kind of treading water, really, marking time. I'm definitely ready for the bit of time off. What else is happening? Lauren is into her final week of school, and yeah, it's I'm going to have no children in school very shortly. It's a bit weird, but there we go. So I'm going to turn to the comments because, as I said, there is quite a lot. But before I do, I'm very naughty not remembering to say this. So this piece is stitched 1/1 on 25 count, and it's the regular size max colour of a stitching shelf. It's an Aimee Stewart piece, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I think I've gone through 2 there. Yes. Not gonna lie, my eyes are a little tired today. I've had a couple of rough nights. Monday morning I was downstairs at 4 AM stitching, because I got a pain in my foot that wouldn't go off, and it woke me up. There's nothing there, there's no injury, I haven't knocked it, I haven't banged it. It's just one of those random things. It's just been sent down to me, so whoever's got the voodoo doll, put it down. Okay, so comments. So I'm going to start to do the comments on my Flosstube 22, the one where I talked about Geckorouge. If you've seen my Flosstube this week, you will know that there has been an update that I did, even though I neglected to mention it in the video. I did reach out to Glenn, and we had a discussion via email about what had happened, and Glenn's taken on board excuse excuse me, what I said, because apparently he does watch the videos, which is really nice. Excuse me. Oh dear, got a bit of a frog this morning. In my throat, not my stitching, which is good. Okay, so I do beg your pardon. First comment is from Andy Crow Stitcher, and she says, great progress as always, happy stitching. Thank you, Andy. Andy has also started Rivendell like I did last week, so it's quite nice. Somebody else is stitching the same version of Rivendell. There are a few versions of it knocking around, yeah. Can I use up this thread? No, I can't. Ooh. And then Kashi says, love your content. I'm lurking in the background at the moment. Not very active, but lurking in the background all the time. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes, you know, we can... Sometimes all we can do is just sit and listen. Which again, I absolutely understand. Oh, excuse me. Does that... I don't know, that image appears a little blurry. Let me just clean the lenses. That's better. There we go. Okay, Daphne leaves me a needle and thread. Thank you, Daphne. And then Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises says, wow, June already. First Flosstube of the month was great. I agree with what you said about the slipshod packaging for the Geckorouge kit. Yeah, and just to reiterate, I think the kits themselves are always packaged beautifully. I think the method of delivery has definitely let it down. But like I said, I like to have my kits in the boxes, so I'm very spoiled. It's almost time for my voucher as well, so I'll be having a look on the Geckorouge site for spends. Patsy says, Rivendell, woo! Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I've got this cough. It sounds like I've been eating gravel. And then Sharon says, fabulous numbers, you're ahead of me, however still on track for the year with some extra in the bank. I have to agree, I will be disappointed with how you received the Gecko kit. Yep. I think with what Glenn's putting in place, it will make all the difference. Okay. I believe Nicola would win the gold medal if there was a stitching Olympics, says Laurie Clark. Great update. Love your whips. Thank you, Laurie. Yes, I do stitch like it is a sport. I tell you what, if I could burn some calories, I'd be very happy. It's a very minimal movement activity, isn't it? Even chest moves more than stitching. Oh, my stomach's off on a growl. Well done knocking off all those years on the stitch. Yeah. I've knocked off 20 years on the finish time for Night Cafe by giving it extra stitches for the last, what, 3 months? I think it must have been about 3 months. And just adding in the extra stitches where I can, it has made a difference. But I you know, I mean, I plan to I plan to try and do similar next year if I can. You know, for the first half of the year, after the, you know, get a finish out of the way, and then for the first half of the year, or the remainder of the first half of the year, give it all I've got on Night Cafe. Because it really has made a tremendous difference. Brought down the finish time so much. And as I'm stitching it more and I'm seeing more of the details, it just looks gorgeous. I am enjoying stitching it. But I'm glad it was only for about 3 months, because I didn't want to get burned out with it. Maybe I could do a month on, month off, or week on, week off. I don't know. I'll have to think about it, because I don't want to burn myself out on any piece, really. That's why, you know, the 1,000 stitches and move to the next one is a thing. It stops me from getting burnt out on any one particular piece. I was a little bit in danger of getting burnt out on She Sleeps the closer to a finish she became, because I think I worked for several months solid as extra stitches on that, a lot more months. But I have really enjoyed it. I've also quite enjoyed doing the B and the extra 100 stitches a day on a Sal piece, whether it be B or Symphony. That's been quite nice to do as a change. So but I don't really want to be doing 100 stitches a day on this, 100 stitches a day on that, 100 stitches a day on that. For me, I like to see, you know, good progress. And yes, I'm doing 100 stitches and photographing them every day for the June book sale, but what I'm doing is showing them on my Flosstube with like 700 stitches of progress, which to me still is significant. But anyway. Okay. She then says, a new start. Yes, Rivendell. Well done, you and Lauren, on the weight loss. Thank you. Lauren is as pleased as anything. She also got slimmer of the week. I forgot to mention that. And, you know, when she came home on Monday, when I filmed my Flosstube, I gave her the little corsage and she was so happy with it. I mean, I said to her, I said, I've got it because you wear your Fitbit, and presumably you'll want to carry on wearing it. And she went, I might not. So yeah. Vicky says, I've never ordered from Geckorouge. If I received my first package like that, I would not order again. I love the seahorse. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. And what I pointed out to Glenn, if I'd have been a first-time customer, it would have seriously put me off. So it definitely needed a little bit of attention. Excuse me. Sally Ann Cole says, great progress over the May. Rivendell, fantastic. And as you know, £0.5 is still weight off. Happy stitching. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just chipping away, and I have faith that I'll get there. I just have to chip away at it. So, and with my having the next week off, I'll be doing a lot of physical activity. I've got garden to do, and I've got some house cleaning I want to do as well. So, and me and Lauren have planned some walks. So even though it's my week off, stitching might be reduced because I've got lots of other stuff going on. Okay, Linda Love to Stitch says, I agree with you about the packaging. When I order a kit from Geckorouge, I look forward to it being packaged nicely. Yeah, it feels like a luxury item, doesn't it? That bag looks kind of sloppy in my opinion. I love seeing progress on your whips. My goodness, Rivendell seems like a huge undertaking. Plus with the blends, it will look beautiful. Yep, I'm pretty sure that Rivendell will be a challenge. But hey, this is me. Challenge accepted. And it's already going, you know, quite well. I am working and completing a square before moving on to the next kind of thing. I don't want to leave any sort of gaps. So, yeah. Gillian says, having received a lot of geckos myself, I agree about the packaging for the budgie kit. I do love the boxes as well. Nice to store too and know that they're well protected. Love your videos. I've had a few heads through, though currently working on Dragon Race Into the Night by Paine Free Crafts, which is a little bit big. I don't calculate how long it will take me. Well, that's the joy of stitching, isn't it? In essence, it doesn't matter how long it takes you, but for me, I'm a numbers gal and I like to know. But you take your stitching journey to the degree that you want. I'm both progress and process as a stitcher. I like both. I enjoy the physical process of stitching. I find it calming and relaxing. But I also like to see progress too. And I think that's in part is the reason why, certainly in my Facebook group, we celebrate every milestone. Because these pieces are a commitment. They're a long-term commitment, some of them. I mean, take my night cafe. I'm going to finish it in 2040 at the rate I'm going. In 2040, I'll look back at what I was doing in 2025 and think, blimey. Actually, 2040 is 15 years away, so it's not so bad, is it? Okay. Kathy says, love your Flosstube and your beautiful stitching. You often keep me company and I appreciate that. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, it's I've always kept my Flosstubes and my Stitch With Me's and things very real, so that you do feel like you're with me rather than at the other end of a screen. I kind of like to imagine that I am sat in a room with you and chatting, although this room is much quieter than one, say, at a retreat, for example. Okay, Nina Hobbysite comments on Flosstube 21, so the one earlier, and she says, great progress on your beautiful projects. Love the unicorn and the ducks are cute. I actually found there was a post on Facebook, I haven't told you yet this, Andy. There's actually a shop somewhere that specialises in selling rubber ducks. So that's quite cool. Uh-oh, I hear movement. Sandy says, great update video, well done to you and Lauren. Yes, you are right about the presentation for the Geckorouge kits. I hope that they improve for the future. Thanks for sharing. Take care. Happy stitching. Thank you, Sandy. What I've done there. I'm going to fix that arm. There. And then Michelle L says, thank you for sharing the postal handling issue. I'll order all mine in a box. Yep. I like the boxes. Okay, so my arm keeps going across the stitching. Anne-Marie says, I love catching up with your videos. I do need to tune in at showtime. Great stitching as usual. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Morning, Hannah.
Morning.
I'm waiting for your tooting. No. She's funny. Okay. And then she says on the last stitching shelf video that I did, this is beautiful, so beautiful, I might even own this pattern. Thank you for the relaxing episode. You're a good soul and the girls are lucky to have you and them and Andy. Lucky to have you and you, them and Andy. That's it. Reading words are hard this morning. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Okay. And then she comments on Flosstube 17 to say great video. And on Flosstube 16 leaves me some emojis. So thank you, Aimee. Top commenter this week. And then hearts on the Wednesday live stream. Okay, cool. And speaking of Wednesday live stream, Maddie has made a very, very good point in this comment. So towards the end of the live stream, for some reason my phone started glitching and it turned into a little disco. And she did point out in a comment that a heads up for anyone with epilepsy to not watch the part after her timestamp, because that's when the disco happens and the glitch is on. So absolutely, you know, thank you very much indeed for flagging that up, Maddie. I didn't even think about that, because without having, you know, known, I don't have an issue with epilepsy myself, and I don't know anybody with that kind of issue. So it makes sense for you to post that. So thank you. So I'm just trying to use up this thread. Love your videos, says Maddie again on my Witchy Cat video. I had the frog show up 10 stitches. I've been working on my fitness last 2 days. I've done 260 minutes of walking and a total of 196 brisk walk. The minutes, the ones that weren't, were me checking for cars. Awesome stuff. Then Carla says, a new start, I love Rivendell. Yep, busy, now it's open. So I will work on that whenever I can. When I get some of these finishes done, then these pieces will start to, you know, progress a bit more quickly. With a few small finishes, I should be able to then hopefully touch everything every month, because at the minute it's more than a month to touch everything. What's this one? 801. What do you plan to do with the cross stitches that don't have a background like the cats, says Karen. So I've still planned to stitch them as charted. I'll give them a wash, get the grid lines off, and then frame them up just with the white background. I think, you know, with a nice mat or an appropriately coloured mat. These ones, depending on how, you know, pleased I am with She Sleeps, will probably go to Lisa at Atelier Framing and get framed, because I do save up my buy me a coffee for framing. So anything that comes through buy me a coffee is ring fenced for framing. So She Sleeps has cost £125 to get framed, but I am looking forward to seeing that when it comes back. I'm hoping to hear from her soon. I think Andy and the girls want to see it back too. Okay, Hannah. Enid leaves me a thumbs up, and then that's also on Witchy Cat. And then Anne-Marie says, I need to catch a live. That sounds questionable. So yeah, we do have a little bit of fun on the lives, and we do a few bits of play on words and that kind of thing, and it can be quite fun. We do have a bit of a laugh, don't we? I thoroughly enjoy hosting the live streams. They're good fun. Bless you.
Thank you.
Make sure you take your antihistamine today. And again. Anne-Marie also comments on Gecko Christmas Cat. Great job. Thank you for more inspiration to stitch. If I can inspire one person, I'm happy. I'm very passionate about this hobby. I love it. And I plan on doing it for as long as I possibly can. Kitty glitter, cat hair.
Kitty glitter.
It's kitty glitter.
Kitty glitter. She's covered in it.
I know. She made an appearance on my Flosstube this week. I was sat where you are and she come and walked up behind me. Kashi leaves me some hearts on a couple of videos, Bizarre Bookshelf and Flosstube number 19, so thank you, Kashi. Always good, even if you don't wish to leave a long form comment, an emoji, a comment in that way always helps. Likes, comments, even if it's an emoji, all helps to get my channel out there. Okay, come on, you come. Just grab a quick drink, keep hydrated. All right, love.
Yeah.
Come on, out you come. Doing that crazy thing, talking to me thread again.
You're not.
Well, I might be, Hannah, I don't care. Speaking of Kitty, I hear her.
She's sat there.
Oh, sure, I can't see her from here. I've got a laptop in my way.
She's licking her rear end.
Oh, nice. Glad I can't see her. Yeah, Flosstube 11, Anne-Marie says, another beautiful beginning. That's on my Anita in Verarity kit. And then on my How I Work on Evenweave video, she comments to say thank you for another great video. Do hope that these videos that I put out with the how-to or how I'd work helps someone. I have had generally good feedback from them, so and Diane Miller is commenting on Sailing Fairy. So my Paine Free Crafts piece, my Nadia Strelkina. She says, wow, this design has gorgeous colours. You're doing a beautiful job stitching this. It's all down to the charting for that one. The charting is really good. And, you know, the colour palette that Sarah used on it is not massive, and I think that's so important. If you can saturate with too many colours, and it can distort the reality of the design, as it were. I think it's probably a better way to put it, isn't it? Let me just zoom in a little bit on where I'm working. All right. There we go. Not light going in and out of sunshine at the minute, so.
It'll be warm today.
Is it going to be warm, is it? Oh,
It
good.
is, which is a point. I'm going to be home late because the old man's going to go and do his shopping.
Okay. Where's it going shopping then?
I shoot Morrison's. He's either going at Morrison's or Aldi because I'm going to flat that dog.
All right, okay.
Because I'm going to have her down at Park Gate, but obviously it's going to be too warm for her.
Okay. Okay. I don't think I got actually, too many more comments, if I'm honest. Loopy Sue leaves me some hearts and smiley emojis on my new start. For ribbon. I want to reposition this camera. I've moved my actual camera and I can't actually see the flaming project now. There we go. So thank you for that. Like I said, even an emoji helps. And then Michelle says, can I leave the blends to the end of the project? Well, I could, but then we'd end up with a scenario where the project would have lots of gaps, and then I would be going back to fill in the gaps, and there's a risk over a large area that I might miss something out. I might miss a spot. So my preference is to make sure that each square is done in turn. Because like here, this square is now almost filled in. So I'm moving on to this one to use up my thread, but then I'll go back to the 2 stitches in this square that haven't been done and complete that square. So then this square will get filled in, and this square, and so on and so on. What am I doing here? So theoretically, yes, I could leave all the blends to the end, but in reality, if I did that, I'd end up with a very patchy looking project. And the risk of missing a stitch, even with pattern keeper, is for me not something that I want to do. Jenny from Jenny Crochet Zone, listening and stitching on the stamp cross stitch I got made of our old pet dog. Yeah, I do like a stamp cross stitch from time to time, just to give a bit of change from the counted, and it's even better if it's one that is and stamp cross stitches have got a bit of a reputation, haven't they, for, shall we say, not always being genuinely licensed. But of course, if it's your image, no worries there, is there? Why not knit? We'll be looking forward to progress on this piece. I also appreciate all your stitching tips. No worries at all. Glad that they're appreciated. Stitching's a very personal journey, and there's no rights and wrongs. There's how I do it, how others would do it, and if you take the time to look, listen and learn, then you'll find your own path with stitching. I think that's important. The only rules, as Karen says, Needlebook, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones that you make for yourself. For me, it's no whip left behind. That's my rule. And for me, a restart, I will only usually restart something if, like on Night Cafe, I make a complete mess of the counting. Once bitten on that, not done it again. Not likely to either. Hard lesson learned, 40-something thousand stitches in. Crystal Griffin says thank you for the enjoyable company, and this is also on the new start, Rivendell. And Karen Ennis says I'm stitching along with my sleeping kitten. Oh, love a kitty cat. Always appears when she wants food. And showers my projects with kitty glitter. Doing quite well this morning. Daphne leaves me a sewing needle and thread, and then Heather, also still on Rivendell, says exciting watching you bring a new project to life. Yeah, it's exciting doing them. Hey kitty.
Kitty.
She's now looking at you as if to say, what the hell do you want? She's got a very expressive face, our cat. Okay, Enid leaves me a wave, and Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruisers says, hi Nicola, great start on Rivendell. We're at my father-in-law's all day on the 7th doing family stuff. His 92nd birthday was on the 6th, so I'm watching this at 9:30 at night. Well, I hope you had a wonderful birthday. And yeah, the videos are there anytime, any time zone. I don't think there's any country or any place in the world where my videos aren't published. I don't restrict them or anything, so... Okay, let me just get rid of these. And then Kashi on Sailing Fairy says, love the colours in this piece. Thank you for spending time with us. Well, I love doing my YouTube and I have no plans to stop. So I'm afraid you're stuck with me. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that is absolutely fine. But I have no plans to stop doing something that I love. Okay, new colour needed. Aimee on Realm of Middle Earth leaves me some hearts, thank you, and then she follows up with on an Aimee Stewart video to say great video, thank you very much. I don't think we've got many more comments. Actually, we've done quite well getting through an awful lot. Okay, 3861 I want. Okay, GR82BK, great to BK, says, I love all that you do, even the enabling. I got on the Geckorouge website and ordered Cat's Love. No idea when it'll arrive since I'm in Florida. It's my very first Geckorouge kit ever. I look forward to stitching it. So I will say sorry, not sorry, for enabling you. That Cat's Love piece, it is beautiful. And it is now on the 2 finishes for 1 start. So Symphony and another piece finished, and then this wheel will be spun. And of course I have my hand-dyed fabric for it, because I think it definitely said something different to white. That square's now filled in. So that one is now done, and I've done this one as well on this stitch with me, and that one. In progress. And this one will be done as well before the end of the video. On live stream Sunday, Aimee again says thank you, great video. What?
Is that mark on my leg noticeable?
What mark?
There's a bit
Well,
of a mucky mark there.
that tells you everything you need to know when I say what mark.
I've tried wiping it down, it won't come on.
I can't see anything. I can't see anything.
Okay, good.
Oh dear. Yeah, so Aimee says great video on the Sunday live stream, and then Salita says hello Nicola and family. So you guys know that my Sunday live stream, an integral part of it is Sew and Tell, where we annoy everybody by ringing a bell.
You mean this bell?
Certainly do. And when I say annoy, I use it in a very loosest of terms. We celebrate every milestone. So if you have a milestone, such as you finished a page, a block, a colour, got to a certain number of stitches, you've achieved your aim for that day, that kind of thing, we will celebrate it with a tinkling of a bell. And Maria says there are beautiful stitches in Sew and Tell. Yes, there are. And everybody who contributes to Sew and Tell, I just want to say again, a massive thank you. It's so nice to see what people are stitching on, what progress they're making. The selection of stuff in Sew and Tell is very diverse, and you know, everything from samplers to fan art, full coverage and non-full coverage, stamp kits and counted, and a mixture of colour palettes, thread counts, types of fabric. It's just wonderful. So she says, I missed your live since I was working, but I watch a replay. Yep, and of course, you know, the replays, I always publish them. Let's go stitching it, hasn't it? Yes, I always publish them, so you know, you guys can see what people have been working on. And we do get some enabling. I've been enabled. You know, a few people sort of wander off the live and go shopping. You know, they see it's kind of a shopping day. Because acquiring and having a collection is just as important, isn't it, as stitching itself. And Sandy comments on the new start for Rivendell, saying, lovely relaxing stitch with me, thanks Nicola, helps chill me out. I love seeing everyone's projects on the June bug along with the variety. It's also great seeing Sew and Tell on the lives. Yeah, that just validates exactly what I've just said. You know, the variety these projects and stuff, it's great, you know. There's some projects I see and I think, no, I wouldn't stitch that. And there are other things that I think, absolutely, I would stitch that. And people put their own twists on things too. So yeah, it's really nice. And you know, I even show Andy some of the stuff sometimes, and he's like, "Ooh, that's nice."
That's nice.
That's nice.
Got old Mrs. Brown on you now.
Ah, yeah, but not in a Mrs. Brown. That's nice. But you actually genuinely are. That's nice. And my last comment for today comes from our lovely Leslie, and it is on Rivendell Castle. And she says, thanks for another great... Mad Hatter's in the house. Thanks for another great video, Nicola. You're very, very welcome.
Anna, how can you be late? It's only 3 minutes past 8.
Because normally at this time she'd have her shoes and coats on and be checking a watch. You know, Hannah, Andy, it's very important to be on time. If she doesn't get to work on time, then she might not get her morning cuppa.
I don't leave by a certain time. I don't get there for a certain time. If I don't get there for a certain time, everything just goes to shit.
The perils of living with autism.
Don't forget the anxiety.
Yes, but particularly autism. Because that's what makes you so routine orientated. And this square is 2 stitches away from being filled in as well. So that's another one ticked off.
I'm leaving.
I'll leave then.
See you tonight.
Bye, love you.
Love you.
Have a good day. Little sod, isn't she? She has a bossy streak in her. And she's annoyed us the last couple of days with her bossiness. Andy went into a room the other night to ask her something that I'd asked her, and before he could even say what I'd asked him to say, she just completely cut him dead. And got a bossy on, didn't she?
Yeah.
So that's 3 squares completed in this session, which is good. I don't think we're going to make it a 4th, but you know, it'll certainly be done today. It's like building blocks. God, her perfume's strong, isn't it? I don't even know if she had her antihistamine, do you?
Probably did.
So yes, that's all the comments. So thank you guys who have contributed a comment. I like to respond to them on these Stitch With Me's, and I know that you guys like to hear them too. I suppose, you know, I mean, you could sort of sit there and read them, but you know, if you've got your stitching out and I talk about them, it saves you that trouble, doesn't it? We can multitask. We can, in inverted commas, we can read the comments while stitching, i.e. me talk about them. And today I woke up to 2,801 subscribers. So I've tipped over the next point in subscriber count. So thank you to all of those of you who have subscribed. It really, really is appreciated. And as a reminder, to subscribe on YouTube, it is free. I don't think it should say subscribe myself. I think it should say something like follow. Because when you say the word subscribe, you instantly think that there's a cost involved in that. Which is possibly why the channel doesn't have, well, I've got 2,800 subscribers, which is a lot. 2,800 people all over the world watch me. But there are more than 2,800 cross stitches in the world. And I think that perhaps some people might not even cross stitch, but just watch my videos anyway. But yeah, I do think the word subscribe is misleading. Do you agree, Andy?
I do.
You know, like on Facebook, you can like and follow, and same on Instagram, you can follow, and I think that should be the same on YouTube. But and then, you know, instead of join, then it could be subscribe, couldn't it? You know, for those channels on YouTube that have memberships, what do you think, love?
That would make sense, yeah.
Alright, so just going to use up this thread. I always try and use up threads where I can as well, because I find it such a faff putting them back on my thread card. You know, when my nails get a little bit on the long side, it can be a bit of a faff. I'm getting ready for my nails to be done. I shall have them done at the end of next week. Must be taking Lauren down to get hers done. Ready for a prom. She's looking forward to. Oh, no, that was wrong. There we go. Distracted by a notification coming through. I don't know about you, love, but I think this week is going slow as well.
Very slow.
I just think it is. I suppose it's because of me having my rude awakening at 3 on Monday morning.
Well, that's not helped, has it?
No. I've run out of things to say. And we've still got about 15 or so minutes of stitch time. So what I might do is just carry on stitching, and if I think of what to say, I'll chat about it.
Fair enough.
Unless you've got what to say.
No. Boring.
You're not. And what makes you think that?
Me.
So 6-1 again. It's a popular colour today. It's the third lot of it. I'll be doing a whip parade at the end of June. You looking forward to that, dear?
Not particularly, but I mean,
Why?
well, it's nice to see all the stitching, I suppose.
I think what I'm going to do is this time is I'm going to ask you to put in pictures of before where applicable, and then show the pieces, and then give you a photograph of everyone to do like a gallery at the end. What do you think?
Hang on, run that past me again. You can do what?
So you know how, like, when I do a whip parade, you insert a picture of where they were
Yeah.
at the start of the year,
Yeah.
and then doing a full picture as they are now.
Yeah.
Last time we inserted them into the video,
Yeah.
and rather than do that, what I figured was do like a gallery at the end. Like
Right. So instead of like individually, just do it all in one.
Yeah,
Okay.
in order.
Yeah. Right. That's what you want.
Well, I have to speak to the video editor about it, don't I?
Make me sound so important.
You are important. Yes, it will be a long whip parade. Not quite as long as some YouTubers. I've seen 3-hour whip parades.
Oh yeah.
And whip parades in a number of parts. Mine will all be in one. I think it will take, the time will be clearing up after it. Putting everything away. Reframing stuff. Tommy's growling again. Whoops. That's not very good, is it? Let's try that. There we go. Said my eyes were tired. Yeah. Just thinking about what I want to do next week. I want to top up my threads and sort them out. Might get some new tubs for the thread sander, because most of them in there are damaged.
Yeah, okay.
Tidy them up. I want to do some cleaning in the kitchen. And try and do a little, get the bathroom bottomed out, I think, as well. Celeste. Do a bit of gardening. And I want to try for about 1,500 stitches a day, I think. So me and Lauren have got walks planned every day. House alarm birds out there again. Yeah, one that sounds like a dodgy house alarm.
Might even be a house alarm.
Ronnie Pickering's quiet though. You watch it bark now.
Maybe not.
Thank goodness for that. Oh, that slipped, hasn't it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Peaceful stitchy mornings. Best time really to film. Nobody in the house. Well, apart from you now. That sounded like an electric vehicle.
It was.
The battery's running out. Oh dear, to be fair, since we lost Flossie Lou over the road, it's been fairly quiet in this neighbourhood, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've not had to put up with the sounds of smashing glass. The only person in the world I know whose window cleaning is sponsored by Black & Decker. We've had a couple of disturbed nights with the little one next door. He's decided to have a screaming fit at 10 o'clock at night. A complete meltdown. Which has been fun, not. Add that to the several meltdowns a day during the day. It does not make for pleasant neighbouring. We don't live silently. I'd be lying if I said that we did. But there are times when the noise excess is just a little bit too much. Especially like Monday night when I went to bed because I'd been up since silly o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep because of a toddler meltdown. Well, I said toddler, a small child meltdown. Because he's about 5. Hannah was annoyed as well because she'd done overtime that day. And she was quite peeved because she wanted to get to sleep as well. And it was right on the other side of the wall where her headboard is. So to say she was not impressed was an understatement. And then it started up again last night. And she was even less impressed by that. Anywho, we're about reaching the end of today's stitchy sesh. So I'm going to do a quick mark off and see where we are. But just as a reminder, 3 videos coming up on the screen in a moment. So if you've not seen them, please do go take a few minutes to have a look. And as I'm sure you guys will know by now, I release Flosstubes Tuesdays, Stitch With Me's Thursdays and Saturdays, and a live stream on Wednesdays and Sundays at 7:30 p.m. UK time. I have done 330 stitches. So I'm really happy with that. Putting in these squares and adding in the, using up the threads underneath. 330 stitches isn't bad in the morning's work, is it? So thank you guys very much indeed for watching. Take care, happy stitching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.